What is going on, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome to a brand new and updated Orcust, Danger Orcust deck profile for March 2019. You guys have requested this deck via that last poll that I made. Was the deck that ended up receiving a majority of the vote, so we'll go ahead and start with this updated deck profile. We'll be doing all those other ones that I mentioned as well in due time. And yeah, real quick before we get started, just so we can get right into it, shout out to our sponsor over at Imperium Duelist for providing some amazing gaming accessories like these sleeves I'm using here on the extra deck, the Charm sleeves and the Carnage Red, and the non-effect Grape Purple sleeves here on the main deck. I love these sleeves. I think this is my my favorite go-to combo now, the purple and the red. And the mat we're using here also from Imperium Duelist. If you want to get any of that stuff from them, you can do so by checking out their website down in the description below. And you can also pick up something like this. It's a calculator, dice, pen, and paper holder thing that they sent me a couple days ago. It's actually pretty cool. And if you carry around like a graphing calculator and a lot of dice at a tournament, this might be the thing for you. And you can get it for 10% off with that discount code below. So let's go ahead and get started with the profile. And one of the first major changes that we've made was cutting the Orcust monsters in the main deck down to 2 apiece. So I'm playing 2 Heart Boar, 2 Symbol Skeleton, 2 Nightmare, still playing 2 World Wand, and 1 Brass Bombard. I'm playing all these at 2 mainly because I was just getting to the point where I just kept opening multiples. I kept opening like 2 Heart Boar, 2 Symbol Skeleton, and I was just bricking my hand a lot, and it was just really annoying. And cutting them all down to 2 has made that a lot better, and you're less likely to draw 2 of each Orcust monster. And I felt like 3 was just kind of overkill in every sense. So I cut them all down to 2, and I've been really liking it since. And now we'll go into the Danger Engine: 3 Jackalope, then we have 3 Mothman, and 2 Dogman. I've been playing the same ratio since probably the first profiles that I've done. I think these 8 Dangers work really well. You don't have to play Jackalope if you don't want to pick this card up, because I still think it's like, what, $20 a copy or something. You could play Thunderbird or something different, or Chupacabra if that card isn't as expensive. You don't have to play Jackalope. I mainly play these just because they discard cards out of your hand, which is very advantageous in this deck, especially when you're discarding Orcust cards. And they also are upstart goblins as well, so they help you draw into your other combo pieces that you want to see. Yeah, I think Mothman's probably actually my favorite. If I was recommending any danger for the deck, I would definitely say Mothman for sure. The card pretty much has 0 drawbacks in this deck as far as Orcust is concerned, because if it gets discarded, you each draw and then discard 1, and then if it isn't discarded, you just get to draw a card, which is really nice, and something else in your hand gets discarded as well. 2 Malicious. I'm starting to play this again mainly because I just wanted another graveyard extender a lot of the times that wasn't an Orcust monster, either because I've already exhausted those effects and I wanted something different to sort of make plays with, and this is that card that I found that did that. And it's one of those cards that's advantageous in this deck because if it gets discarded off a Danger, it's a free summon out of your grave, and same thing off of Dark Grepher as well. So put 2 Malicious I really like, and then 1 Armageddon Knight and 1 Grepher, so sort of a small Dark Warrior package. I really like these. I've been liking all 4 of these cards a lot. I think I'll just continue to play them going forward. You know, having 2 Walking Foolish Burials is pretty nice, I heard. Then 2 Scrap Recycler. I cut this card down to 2 from 3 because I just wanted to cut down on some of the normal summons I was playing because I felt like I was playing too much in the past. Then we have 2 the Nightmare Corruptor Ibly. This card, again, I feel is also really fantastic in the deck, but I still just didn't want to play 3. And same thing with 4 Mud Skipper. I also wanted to play 2 of it as well because I just didn't want to open up like a ton of normal summons in my opening hand. And I wanted to have some options, so to speak, to work with throughout the game. If I didn't have a Nightmare, like if I didn't have another Mermaid left in deck, I wanted to have the 4 Mud play to be able to go into an Orcust monster and link away with that and any other Danger or whatever, or Mally, and just sort of have a different route of play. Scrap Recycler I still really like a lot. It's a really good card in here. Simple fact that it's a machine helps you go into Summon Sorceress a lot easier with some of your Orcust plays, so I still really like that card in that sense, and yeah, it sends any of your Orcust to the grave, which is really, really nice. Then we have 2 Orchestrated Return for the spells. Its draw power, I think it's needed. It's hard once per turn, which sucks sometimes, but the fact that you can set this to your field if you already have your field spell is nice, because then it's just a draw card, which helps you get your stuff into your grave, draw into your deck. Very, very important. Another change I made is playing Double Babble. I wanted to play 2 of this because I found out, you know, that after taking this deck to a few tournaments, is people really want to get rid of this field spell, and that hurts a lot because this field spell is like the heart and soul of the deck. It allows your Orcust effects to become quick effects, and you can use them during your opponent's turn, which plays into this deck scheme a lot. So this field spell is very, very important, whether it was getting like ogred or not ogred, but just foxied or twin twisted or whatever. It just was annoying having to keep you know, grabbing this card back out of my grave by discarding things in my hand that I didn't want to discard, or discarding the only card in my hand just to get this card back so I could be able to make plays next turn during my opponent's turn to actually take advantage of my Link Monster's really good effects and shuffle back my resources back into the deck. So it was nice to be able to, like, oh, I could just go into a Galatea again, recycle something, and get this card again either way without having to discard a card later or during that one turn. I could just get it back immediately with Galatea, or I could, you know, just grab another draw spell or whatever. So I just like having 2 of these. Same thing with like Trisbania. Setting up Trisbania during your opponent's turn is like really, really key against a lot of decks, like Salamangreat, True Draco, any back row heavy deck. And the simple fact that you can like Trisbania them during their turn is what makes this card really good. And I didn't want to, when I, you know, Trisbania, this would get banished. I didn't want this to, you know, that be like the only use I get out of Babel. I wanted still to have another copy in deck to be able to search out later, so I could keep using it. So I thought that's another reason why I wanted to play 2, and I'm still really liking it at 2. Then we have 2 Call by the Grave. You could probably play 3 of these and cut a 4-mud skipper, but I just like the ratio of monsters that I've been playing lately, so only really had room for 2. Then Foolish Burial, Rhoda, Reasoning, and Allure of Darkness. So I've been playing these 4 1-ofs for quite some time now, and the Reasoning is actually quite new, but this is a tech that some people had suggested to me, and I really think this card is very, very good in here. The only time it sucks is if they call the right number and you happen to mill a danger monster, so like that can be the only time this card doesn't help out, but a lot of times it's like bait for Ash Blossom or anything like that. I just like this card a lot. So like, if they call 4 and you mill a Harp Horror, the Harp Horror doesn't get summoned, but you don't really care about that because like you're gonna use its effect in graveyard anyways. Or if they don't call the right number, you put like Orcust Nightmare in your grave, or a World Wand, or a Malicious, or something like that. So this card does a lot. The one Allure of Darkness, because I wanted just like one more draw power card that wasn't Orchestrated Return. Because you can use this with any dark monster. It doesn't have to be an Orcust or a World Legacy monster, which is nice. Rhoda, just searching out the Grepher or the Armor Knight, and then Foolish Burial is just Foolish Burial. Hitting things to our grave is pretty nice. And then we have 3 traps in the main deck, which consist of triple Solemn Strike, the Solemn Squad. I was playing, I think in the past, 2 Strike, 1 Warning, 1 Judgment. I just decided to trim the trap lineup down just to triple Strike. This card just helps solidify your opening field. Like, anytime you can see a strike with any of your basic combos, like, your opening field just gets that much better. Like, I've had this card, like, carry me through certain turns by having, like, 2 set, and just striking a lot of my opponent's plays, and then it slows them down enough where they have to pass, and then next turn, with the resources you still have, you're still able to just, like, go into Borosword or something and just kill them. So I really do like the triple Solemn Strike in here a lot, and I think I'm going to continue playing traps in here going forward. I like traps in here to begin with. I think they're pretty strong, especially counter traps like the Solemns. I think they work pretty well with the deck scheme, especially when I'm wanting to go first in my build. Alright, now we'll go into the extra deck. To start, we have 1 Synchro here. Of course, it is the Borreload Savage Dragon. This card I've been playing in here for quite some time, and it's really good. You can definitely take advantage of the fact that it grabs a link for you to be able to get those counters on it, to get those negations. And you can make it very easy with any level 7 in the deck, Orcust Nightmare, or Danger Dogman, and your Brass Bombard. So I think this card is really, really good in here. Then we have 1 Orcustrion. This card is super, super good. I really, really like this card a lot. It's a walking skill drain for any linked monster by shuffling back 3 of your banished machines. and makes all their attack and defenses 0 as well. Then we have Boral Sword and Borreload Dragon, which I was actually considering cutting in place of a Nightmare Unicorn, because I really like playing the Savage Dragon, and I'm also playing 2 Nightmare Mermaid, which we'll get to later, and I really wanted to play 2 Nightmare Mermaid, but I didn't know what to cut, whether it be like Unicorn or Borreload, but I feel like I'd regret not playing the Borreload at some point, so I feel like I would just cut the Nightmare Unicorn instead for the time being. So 1 Borreload, 1 Topological Bomber Dragon, and the Trisbana. These 2 cards are devastating, especially with Orchestrated Babel, because you can make these cards go off during your opponent's turn, which is really, really strong. Summon Sorcerers for the basic Summon Sorcerers plays in this deck. Then we have 2 Longirsu, never wanted a 3rd, and I've been playing 2 for quite some time. Considered going down to 1, but the second one does come up quite a bit, at least in my experience. Double Galatea, same. I've been playing Double Galatea for a while. Never wanted a 3rd, but I think playing 1 would be just way too little. 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and then 2 Nightmare Mermaid in the extra. I've been playing this card at 2 for a little while, and I'm really liking it because I'm playing, obviously, multiple Nightmare Corruptor Iblis and multiple copies of the Formud Skipper, and I didn't want those cards to be dead because I only ran 1 of these. So if I were to like normal summon Ibli turn 1 and then go into this and exhaust it, I want to still be able to make like a Formud Skipper play later on in the game, to be able to go into the second one and resolve that effect again, because it's very, very powerful. And then lastly, we have 1 Link Rebo here to round off the Link 1s. Now, the one concern that I still have, though, is not having, maybe at some point, maybe I made a Phoenix, and then I have no reveal target for Formud. You can't reveal Nightmare Mermaid to be able to go into Mermaid with the Formud Skipper. So that's why I still wanted to try and play the Unicorn. I don't know what I would cut. I'm considering either cutting Borreload or maybe Link Kuriboh, but I still really, really like Link Kuriboh here because there are some good implications with it, especially with a card like Brass Bombard. You can normal Brass Bombard in a really bad hand to go into this card just to make it live, to make your bad hand a lot better. So yeah, I mean, I guess you could cut the Link Kuriboh for the Nightmare Unicorn if you wanted to, just so you have those 2 other Nightmares in your extra deck to be able to use just in case you go into one of them. You can still go into your Mermaid with the Formud Skipper. Or you could just play, you know, this, cut Formud Skipper down to 1, and then add in a 3rd Called By or whatever else you wanted to play. So yeah, that is it for the extra deck and the whole profile. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist as well. Don't forget to join Discord if you haven't already, or follow me on Twitch to see me play some of these decks live if you'd like. And yeah, as always, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you in the next one.